Wednesday edition of Whiskey, Web, and Whatnot, where I
Oh
will
yeah.
not be drinking whiskey and where Chuck is not here, you might realize, because he did not meet the minimum quota for number of children for this episode. So, w-
You need three at
yeah,
least.
yeah, yeah. Aaron Francis, you're welcome if you want to jump on at some point. Um, yeah, but as you might have noticed, Typecraft is here as my guest host today. How's it going?
What's up? How you doing? How we doing?
Good, good, man. I mean, I'm getting an average of like 5 hours of sleep a night, so like better than zero, but like
Hmm.
still enough to make me like super clumsy and not not doing the best job of everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you had twins, right?
Yep.
What are their names? Or are you not saying it?
No, I am Arthur and Henry.
Oh man, those are good names. I like those names.
Thanks.
That's a really good name. Yeah, twins is not easy, and I would say if you're averaging almost 5 hours a night with twins, you're doing something right for sure. Like 100%.
Yeah, yeah, we're trying to get them on the same schedule, but like then you feed them both, and it takes them forever to eat. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like all you need to do is eat. Why does it take you so long to eat? But
They're
anyway,
not even really eating, they're just drinking, right?
yeah. Yeah. Like it's not that hard. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
Sponsored
Oh,
by
speaking
Michelob
of,
Ultra.
oh my God, Mick Ultra, that's such a good dad beer.
I know, right?
That's a good dad beer. So I got a golf shirt to do some like, little dad core right here, but I
Nice.
couldn't find a good dad beer. I only had Sip of Sunshine, which is a nice little IPA. It's actually local to me in Connecticut, but yeah, not a Mick Ultra. Mick Ultra is actually like my dad's favorite beer, which is so funny you pulled that out.
Yeah, my dad always got Mick Ultra and like I don't know. I never thought they were that tasty. But then like one day I just had one. I was like, you know what? There's something about this that just hits right. Like I
It's
get
like a
it.
seltzer. It's a
Yeah.
seltzer with like a little extra zing to it. There's not really a
Yeah.
whole lot to it. It's like 4% alcohol. Like they go down super easy. I'm sure on like a nice hot summer day, it's like super refreshing, a nice cold Mick Ultra. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Golfing. I don't know if you
golfing.
golf, but
Yeah. All right. So what we're talking about? Oh yeah. So your kids, you're getting almost 5 hours a night of sleep,
yep.
or average, you said.
Yeah. It's like it's hard to say because like I'm using the Apple Watch to like track how long I'm sleeping and
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
if I nap, like I think if it's before like 11 a.m., if you nap, it like counts as the previous night's sleep too. So it's hard to get like
Yep.
a total accurate number, but yeah, it's somewhere between like 5 and 5.5 hours a day.
That's not bad. But you're napping.
Oh yeah, whenever I can.
Yeah.
I mean, not even on purpose sometimes. Just like, hey, I'm gonna watch this TV for a second. No, I'm not. Like,
Yeah. Just out. Just completely out. Yeah, I
hmm
get that too. So you're getting so that's like 5.5 hours of broken sleep then. It's not even like a
right.
stretch.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. So I remember, so I had twins as well. For anyone who may not know, like I also have twins. My wife and I started out, we had twins. Those were our first kids. And now we have a new baby. Her name's Olivia. And she's wonderful. But I gotta say, and I'm sure you'll agree with me so far, I'm sure this will be your take too. One baby is so much easier than twins. It's not even close.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, um, are your twins boys
Boy
or?
and a girl.
Oh, okay. So not at.
Teddy, Theodore, and Charlotte.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Those are nice names.
I know.
Old
I figured
world.
you would like. I figured you would
Yeah.
like Theodore since it's Arthur and
Yeah.
Henry for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So we have our twins are identical. So we have
Oh,
that
nice.
problem of like who's who, right? You can't mess that up. They have like social security numbers now. You can't be like, it's whoever. Um, so I
That's
was gonna
pretty
ask
cool
you how
though.
you dealt with that, but you didn't have to deal with that, I guess.
Didn't have to deal with it. They are very, very different children. It's very funny how different they are. Sometimes, like just thinking back on like some of the things that they do, like just in their personalities, Like, you know, you look back and then you're like, why, what is going on? Like, we raised these kids the same exact way. They're twins, like we raised them the same way. How are they so different from one another?
Yeah.
But you are not going to have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I knew some identical twins in high school where like one was like super like on the football team, preppy guy, you know, whatever.
Mm.
The other guy was like skateboarder, like punk rock style. Like I was like, okay, I don't know how you guys are this different, but you know, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they're both athletes, you know, like maybe they're both like just athletic people, just applied it to
That's true.
different things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, so how much sleep are you getting? How old is your baby now?
She is now 6 weeks old, which,
Okay.
how old are your twins?
They will be a month old on the 9th. What day is it now? A few days
Oh
away
my
from that, I
God.
guess.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I don't envy you right now. I'm sorry. I just don't. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, we get like, so she's a pretty good baby. We have a good routine now too, my wife and I with her. So how it works is, I mean, my wife is still on leave. I'm a super fortunate guy when it comes to like this company I'm working for. My full-time job, I have 4 months of paid vacation, paid, you know,
Whoa.
family leave, paternity leave, which is
That's a
nice.
lot.
Yeah, I feel very like not everyone gets that. And they allow you to split it up. So I took a month off. I just came off a leave like last week or week and a half ago. And then I'm working in the summer while my wife still has her leave. She takes like 3 months off. And then I get to come back on leave in September and I get to take basically like mid September to mid November off. So now Olivia, our new baby, doesn't have to go into daycare until next January, January next year, basically. So
Right. Because once you hit like November 10th, nobody works anymore.
no, no one
So
works. I'll log in. I'll type
yeah.
like, you know, I'll type like Claude, how do I fix this ticket, and then submit some.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get 8 weeks. I took 4 and then
Mhm.
I'm taking 4 more and like we haven't really decided exactly when yet.
Yeah,
Sometime around September probably.
I mean, 8 weeks is pretty good. Are you at Amazon still?
No, I'm at HashiCorp, which is now IBM. So IBM actually has 12 weeks, but I get the HashiCorp one, which was
Oh,
8.
you
So
lucky dog, you. Oh, that's cool. So I didn't know you worked at HashiCorp. Um,
Mhm.
that's
It's
awesome.
a relatively
Mitchell's
new
such a cool
development.
guy. I know he probably hasn't been involved in a super long time, but I like Mitchell a lot. He's a cool guy for sure.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the acquisition is going to mean for day to day
Mhm.
everything. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more red tape and things to do, but Um, I'm optimistic. Like so far, IBM has been like everything they've said has like been, you know, prioritizing treating people well and everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna match all the same benefits. If our benefits cost more, we're gonna pay for that like difference. And like, they have like a pretty nice. They have a pension plan and a 401k plan. And like, I don't know. It seems like a good
Damn.
place to like work until you retire potentially, if technology exists that long.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like IBM, such an old school company, you would hope they have some of those like more old school things in place.
Yeah.
I haven't worked, God, I don't think I worked for a single company that's been older than like 5 years in my whole entire career. Like seriously, I don't think I have. It's been only startups.
So you have a lot of really valuable equity then.
I have no valuable equity.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, oh my God, there is. Okay, so my very first Ruby on Rails job, this is the worst blunder in my professional career in terms of like money and like managing that stuff. My very first Ruby on Rails job was with a company called Teladoc. Now, I don't know if
Mhm.
you know who that is or whatever.
I've definitely seen it. It's not
Yeah.
like I haven't
So,
heard of it before, but I don't know what they do exactly.
so nowadays they're a publicly traded company. When I started there, it was not. It was a startup. It was just like getting going. We were just moving, I think, all of our code from PHP to Ruby on Rails. My first Rails job, I was super excited about it. Long story short, I worked there for a couple of years and then like moved to Boston. That was when I lived in Connecticut. The company was based out of Greenwich at the time, Greenwich, Connecticut. Um, and so I moved to Boston and I worked remote for a little bit, but then this is before anyone worked remote really. It's like 15 years ago. It was like before people did remote like normally.
Mm.
And so they didn't have anything really set up for remote work. And so I felt very like, okay, this isn't really working out that well. So I left the company. 3 months later, I see that they are going IPO or whatever. They're going public. And it was literally 2 days after I was able to buy my shares in the company. Like when you leave, they had a clause that said like, oh, you have 90 days to buy, your shares if you still want them or whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good, whatever. I don't care. I'm 25 years old. Who gives a shit? And then sure enough, I see they're going public, and I email like the CTO because like I guess I kind of kept in touch with them. And I was like, "Is there any way I can still buy my shares?" He's like, "No."
Oh.
Shit. In that company, I mean, they're still publicly traded. They're a pretty big company even still. So I
Yeah.
guess if we were to go back to that original joke you made, I would have had some valuable equity, but I do not.
Well, that's closer than some people get.
Yeah,
I
I
worked
mean,
at a couple of startups and they never had valuable equity still to
yeah.
this day. Like they usually get acquired or like whatever, and like a couple people that started the company make a few dollars, but like then they kind of just go away.
I had a couple really good like I guess you would call them like micro I can't stop thinking of micro penis. Micro penises. I had a couple good micro penises. Micro exits, I guess you would call it. Micro
Okay.
exit. In companies that I worked for, like one of them got acquired. I worked for a couple of years and they are acquired by this holding company. And like my shares were worth like $10,000 or something. It was a nice little like bonus. It's not life
Yeah.
changing money, but it's fun. But yeah, nothing really big. That's nothing big at all.
Yeah. I mean, nothing is as big as if I had just kept a Bitcoin or two.
Oh my
I
God.
hate that I did not do that.
I know. And now it's like every all-time high, I'm like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna get suckered into this. It's just gonna
Oh,
be
yeah. Yeah. I still think of it
it
as
just keeps
being
going
worth
up.
like a max of a couple thousand. So I'm like, no way, this is going to crash. And then it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I know.
Like, I don't know. Maybe nothing is ever going to crash. I'm just always worried everything is going to crash because I'm like, real estate is like way too expensive. It's going to crash too.
Yeah.
Nope, hasn't so far.
Isn't this fun world we live in? Have you been trying to house shop recently by any chance?
Not super. We moved into this house almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
So like, you know, that was during it sucking. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, fortunately for you, it's only sucked worse since then, I think. Like rates
Hmm.
have only continued to rise, and at least in my area, and I'm sure your area too, um, property values also rise. So it's like,
Hmm.
how is both going up at the same time? It doesn't even make any sense. But sure enough, like a cape house, like a 1,200 square foot little, cape house. I live in like this nice little neighborhood. It's nothing too crazy. It's not like full of like mansions or anything, but these like these little residential houses go on the market for like an insane amount of money, like double what they would have gone on when I bought this house. And like this little cape is going on for 600 grand, like right down the street. It's like a 1,200 square foot, 2 bedroom house. And everyone around is like, oh, that's not going for 600. That's going to go for way more. It's like, how? How does that happen?
Yeah.
I couldn't afford that. That's insane.
Yeah, I miss the days when you listed it high and you got to negotiate down. Now it's the other way. It's like you got to come with extra money and be like, "Hey, I don't know what everyone else offered, but here's an extra 100 grand. Just like,
Mhm.
please give it to me."
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, I see you have a contingency in here. You want this house inspected? No, thanks."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
We
crazy.
did that for I can't remember. We've moved a lot because we kind of fucked up how we wanted to live. We lived in Alexandria for a while and like,
Mhm.
you know, city living, love that. Pandemic hit, we moved to like way country, like 10 acres of land.
Nice.
Hated that because it was like so much maintenance, so far to like 45-minute drive to Target. My wife's like, can't do that.
Mhm,
So then
mhm.
we moved again, like, you know, 3 times in the span of like 5 years. So like
Okay.
we've really messed that up a lot, I
Where you
guess.
guys
But
living
like
now?
we're in Great Falls, so like we still have a little bit of land, like an acre and a half or so, and then
Oh,
like
that's nice.
15-minute drive to Target. So like best
That's
of
great.
both worlds.
That's good
Yeah.
barometer too. If like you're not too far away from like a major like store, then you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like where I'm living right now. We're in Southern Connecticut. We're like just outside of New York City, but it's far enough that like it's not like the main like commuter hub, but a lot of people still it's in the Fairfield, Connecticut area. It's like kind of that area. Um so it's just far enough outside. I have a little yard. It's not an acre. Maybe it's like a quarter of an acre if you were to, think about it in terms of acres. But it's a nice little house, beautiful neighborhood, and I can walk to the train, and the train can take me to New York City or all the way up to like Maine or something. So I feel like it's
That's
a good
great.
mix of like kind of urbany, but it's not like a big city at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I
like
love
nice.
trains.
It's my favorite way to travel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Unless they derail. Never had one derail on me though.
That only happens in Ohio, I heard.
I don't know. There's been more and more. I feel like every type of transportation is just like shitting the bed right now. I don't really know what's happening, but
It's
I'm
all
just gonna
falling
ignore
apart.
it.
Yeah, I know. That's the best way to go about life. Just ignore it. Just worry about your little slice of the world and try not to worry too much about anything else.
Yeah.
Which for
So
you, your little slice of the world just got a little bit bigger. So
yes.
you got plenty to worry about.
Yeah. 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 So we do on this show have one segment we usually do, hot takes. I try to make a few dad hot takes to
Oh
see
yeah.
what we think here. They're not super hot, but whatever.
Mild takes.
I've been busy. Don't have time to think about it that much. So
Mhm.
let's do it. Tall socks or ankle socks?
Tall socks are way more comfortable. And if you have a nice pair of jorts to pair with them, they look fantastic. Extra points if you also have sandals. Tall
Yes.
socks.
See, traditionally I would agree, but I think the thing now is like I don't know what's the gen now. Is it Gen Z that thinks this, I guess? They're like they say
Mm.
the ankle socks are the dad socks because
Hmm.
that's like what we grew up wearing and like your dad wore the tall socks, so you wear like the shorter socks or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like come full circle, I guess. So I'm like, well, now I don't know what to do, right? Like you want that classic dad aesthetic, but you
Hmm.
also want to be like wearing the thing that's most annoying to your children.
Hmm.
So like
Hmm.
what do you do?
Hmm. I mean, I think no matter what, you need a fanny pack.
Yes.
That's something. But
Yep.
yeah, damn, I didn't even think about that. I guess you're right though. Like the ankle sock is like the sock of the millennials, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
we grew up doing ankle socks. So I guess that
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Time's a flat circle.
Yep. Related, New Balances or Nikes?
Ooh, I haven't had a name brand pair of sneakers in I don't even know how long. But I would go with if we're talking dad core, I'm going New Balance for sure. All day,
Yeah.
every day.
I've never had any New Balances. I feel like I should get some and try them. I actually
Mhm.
have like 6 or 7 pairs of the same Nikes with different color checks just because I like that.
Do you match them to like a hat that you're wearing or something?
I do sometimes,
Mhm.
and sometimes on accident. Like I'll have a really matched, like fully head to toe matching. And I'm like, oh, people are gonna notice this and be like, that guy's
Well,
a
yeah.
weirdo.
I mean, that's a millennial thing, I think, too.
Yeah.
I like
All right, gas or charcoal grill?
Ooh. Okay, so this is probably everyone's take. I mean, I guess it is a mild take, but like charcoal grills taste better, but gas grills perform better and are more convenient.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's probably true. I was looking into getting a big green egg when we moved into this house.
Right. Yep.
And because I thought that sounded awesome. Like you can do pizza in it too. Like you do everything you want. I don't care if it takes a while because I enjoy the craft. Like let's
Mhm.
just do it. And yeah, life does not give you time to enjoy the craft of most things. So it's
Absolutely not.
like,
I cannot tell you how many times I've thought the exact same thing. I got one of those I mean similar to the green egg thing, right? Like I got one of those pizza grills. I don't know if it's the Uni or if it's a different brand. It's so not on the top of my head because I just haven't used it in the past couple of years, but like we bought it and I was thinking, okay, do we shell out a little bit more for like the gas version of this, like the propane version? Or do we just do like the wood pellet thing? And I was like,
mhm.
okay, yeah, we'll just do wood pellets. It's not that hard to manage, super easy. Just light up some wood pellets. Even that little extra step is just too much for me to like overcome. I haven't, I just don't use it because it like takes too much time and effort. And yeah, being a dad, it's all about efficiency.
Yeah.
And that's not
Yeah, I
efficient.
mean, I'm looking forward to these twins not being newborns, but, like,
Mhm,
right now, it is definitely all about efficiency because it's like,
mhm.
I have to get up so we also have 2 dogs. Do you have any pets?
I have a dog and a cat.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are they high maintenance or pretty easy?
They're actually both really easy, although the cat was on my roof this morning, and I
Oh,
don't know how
wow.
she got there. But she got down, she's fine.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of our dogs, like, his back legs don't work, so
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to, like, carry him around. He, like, poops in the house all the time, like, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, dealing with that, have to get up at, like, 5 a.m. for that because he's like, "I gotta poop right now." So, we've got that extra, like, in between the babies trying to eat and sleep and stuff, we got that.
Oh, man.
Um,
That's tough.
yeah, it's just a lot of chaos, but, like, what were we saying before that? What was the
It's all
point of
about
my schedule?
efficiency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, um I have like an hour from when I take him out to go to the bathroom
Mhm,
to when like the twins are up, and then all day I have no time.
mhm.
And then like when our older son goes to bed, then we have like 1 hour where we can like watch one show and then we go to bed. It's kind of like our whole schedule. But like
Right.
in between that, it's like you're starting the bottle washer, you're washing other dishes, you're doing chores, you're doing everything, you're watching the kids, you're playing
Mhm.
with them. Like, yeah, there's no free time. So I don't understand how like it's supposed to work. I guess everyone just gets nannies if they really, really need to work, but
Oh
like
my god, I want a nanny so bad.
yeah.
I mean, that seems like such a luxurious, like, thing that nobody could ever even, like, reasonably want, but once you have enough kids, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, why wouldn't I have a nanny? Like, if I could afford it, I would absolutely get a nanny, like,
Yeah.
that's not even a question in my life.
Yeah. And
Um,
cost-wise, I mean, I haven't looked at the cost, but like, preschool or daycare or whatever is also super expensive. So like if you're putting 3 kids in preschool,
yeah,
is it just as cheap to like have a nanny? I don't know.
that's a good point. I think you're right. And especially where I live, 2 kids in preschool at the same time would be probably more expensive than a nanny.
There you go.
In fact, it was. It was almost $4,000 a month.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
paying like 900 for 3 half days a week. Like
Oh,
what the
man,
fuck?
that's
Like
crazy.
yeah, the it does like it doesn't go up exponentially though. It's kind of like a flat like we started with 2 half days
Yeah.
and then 3 half days was like $50 more or something. And so like when they go full time it's still like $1,000. Like it's not
Yeah.
a ton more.
And then as they get older,
So
it gets a little cheaper usually, I think.
yeah.
So it's not too bad, but yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't even know how we did it with the twins is wild. So good luck with that.
Yeah. I don't know how like schooling at all works
Yeah.
because like I don't know about you and maybe it's just because we're their parents, right? But like
Mhm.
the kids just don't listen at all. They're
Mhm.
like do anything and they're like no, I will do the opposite right now. So I'm like I can't imagine being a teacher with like 20 children and just any of them at any point could go I ain't doing that.
Mhm.
Like
It surprises me every single day. Like literally every day they get home from school, they go nuts at home. They don't listen, like you said. They don't do anything that we ask. But it's like, I mean, and I can't help but think like, how the hell do these kids ever do anything in the classroom? But you know what it is? I think there's a couple things to it. I think your teachers, they're not quite as familiar with the teacher as they are with you, right? Like
mhm.
you are like their parent. They're like, you play with them, you have fun with them, you do like unstructured stuff with them all the time, like go to the store or do whatever. So like they're more used to just sort of doing whatever with you. But I think with the teacher and in school, two things happen. I think one is like a teacher is more of a authority figure of like, I don't know you quite as well, but you're always telling me what to do, and I have to do certain things all the time. So like I'm just gonna listen. And the other one is like I think there's a bit of a group element where like every other kid in the class
Mm,
kind of listens. I think because of that, it sort of reinforces, yeah, I'm gonna listen too because everyone else is doing this as well. I will say
that's
though,
true.
Teddy was really tough in daycare. He did not listen at all.
Mm.
He's much better as he got older. He got a little more, like the maturity level and stuff. Like, but in daycare, there was a few times where he would just be like, just kicking and screaming and going nuts. It's wild. I don't know how teachers are. I think woefully underpaid in
Oh yeah.
the U.S. for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, teachers and uh, social workers and
Hmm.
policemen, firefighters, all of the people that like hold up society, make no
Mhm.
money, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Yep. They deserve a hell of a lot more.
Hmm. Oh, I got a good one.
Mhm.
When you're parking the car, pull in forwards or backwards?
Forwards all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Going
Always
backwards is
forwards
kind
for
of
me
like,
too.
yeah, yeah. Always
Yeah.
forward. I don't know. I've never, anytime I have to go backwards, I'm always annoyed by it. And then there's always something in
Hmm.
the trunk I have to get, but it's like against like a door or something else. So always forward. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these were suggestions from ChatGPT.
Hell
So
yeah.
I was just like, hey, that's a good one. Cause like my dad always backs into spots. I'm like, why do you do this? Because like it's confusing to other people. You pull up and they're like, oh, they're keeping going. They're turning what, and it's like, then you stop and back up into a spot. Like
Hmm.
it's weird.
It's silly. It's a weird thing to do. I disagree with it fully. I hate anyone who backs into a spot
Yeah, same.
completely.
Yeah.
No remorse.
All right. Baseball or football?
Football. 100%. How about you?
Yeah, football for me. I mean, well, I was gonna say it depends if you're watching or playing, but no, it doesn't, because
Mm,
I like football better for both. um,
yeah.
but yeah, baseball is like this weird thing for me. Like, and I haven't watched it since they like sped it up a little bit. I don't forget
Mhm.
when they did that, like a few years ago or something.
Yeah.
But like it
Squad.
used to just be so boring to watch. Like it's really fun to go to because you can have your snacks, you can go do the
Yeah.
like other little like activities and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, on TV I would never watch it. Like,
I feel like baseball and even people who really love baseball would agree. I'm I'm speaking on behalf of everyone who loves baseball here. I know what everyone thinks. No, but I think even people who love baseball, I feel like you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't say that baseball was it was more it's more of like a vibe than anything else, you know? Like
mhm,
baseball is like it's like a warm day, you're with all your friends, like you're on the field, like you got your glove, you got your like the bat, you got your like the pine tar in your hands, like the smell of everything. Like I feel like baseball is more about like the vibe of like the sport itself than like the real physical actions of playing baseball. I mean, of course, like playing baseball is fun for sure, but I just feel like it's more about like camaraderie, your teammates, hanging out in the, dugout, like all the stuff that goes on during a game as well as playing the game itself. And I think it's more about like that. Whereas like something like
yeah,
football or basketball, it's like all action all the time. Like you're constantly on the field, off the field, pay attention to what's going on. Like there's more to it, I think. Like it's a little bit more fast paced, whereas baseball is more like it's a vibe.
yeah,
What's a sport? More a vibe.
yeah. It's kind of like golf, where you don't actually
Yes.
care about playing that much. You're there to hang out with your boys and
Yeah.
ride around.
Hmm. Although if you do play badly, then I definitely become a little bit of a cranky bee when I'm not playing well. So I definitely
Mm,
I also care about playing.
okay, for golfing
Yeah.
or okay.
I think
Do
as I
you
got
golf a
older, though, I,
lot?
I care a lot less. But when I was a little bit younger, like in my like 10, 15 years ago, I would care a lot more. I'd get like so angry.
Yeah, I've tried to golf some, and I think I've only like done a full like 18 3 times maybe.
Oh yeah.
But like I have to be able to see where the hole is.
Hmm.
If it's like a around a corner thing or whatever, I ain't doing it. Like it's gonna be like my main goal is just always to not lose the ball. I'm like, I don't care if it takes me 15 hits. I just don't want to lose the ball. So
I
that's
mean,
how
that's
I
the game
play.
within the game. Is not losing a ball. Like that's
Yeah.
I feel like that's how you know you're getting pretty good at golf. Is if you don't go through like a whole sleeve of balls during like or 9 holes or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it's fun. I think it's potentially almost just as fun to ride around in the cart and not play.
Hmm. I
Like,
agree.
yeah.
I fully endorse that. As someone who
Yeah.
actually owns a golf cart and drives around my neighborhood, I completely
Oh,
agree with
nice.
that.
Yeah, we have a golf cart at the beach and we ride around in that, which now they make you
Nice.
have seat belts is a new thing,
Oh, really?
which is weird. But
Yeah. You know what though? All the major golf cart brands. This is such a stupid conversation now. Such like a privilege. Like, oh, every major cart, every major golf cart brand. every consumer golf cart brand has, but no, they seriously have a lot of. I feel like every brand has a ton of parts for it. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
enthusiasts out there who care so much about golf carts that like it's so easy to just find like seatbelts for like an Easy Go or something. You know what I mean? It's like just not that hard to find that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious why they decided all of a sudden. Like, I don't know if it's a like Myrtle Beach law or a South Carolina law, or like somebody decided it's a law that you have to have like a seatbelt if you're under, I don't know, maybe if you can't drive a car or something, like you don't have a license,
Hmm.
you have to have a seatbelt. I don't know the exact details, but my parents were telling me about it because we're going to go to the beach this summer. And we were like, well, how do we get down to the beach? Because we have like a golf cart with no seatbelts and a kid who is 3. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, so your oldest is 3?
Hmm.
Oh man,
Yeah. So he's a three-nager, and
teenager. Yep.
he is very he has discovered that you can just say back to you whatever you just said, and it just pisses me off to no end. And my wife is like, just leave the room if he does that. I'm like, no, I want to tell him it pisses me off and to stop doing it.
No, I have to make this right now. He's gotta know. They've gotta
Yeah.
know. No,
Which of
I know
course
it.
never works.
No, no, that's it's so funny. The certain ages, like my kids, my twins are 6, and so I feel like that was a really good gap. I hope your oldest son doesn't feel like he's competitive with your babies right now, right? I mean, maybe that comes later.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they'll be competitive. Like, I don't think he's gonna have that initial thing that we were worried about where like he doesn't get attention. He's still getting plenty of attention. He's not
Yeah.
like he's not upset right now. But when they're
Yeah.
older, I think they're gonna be like, who's better at sports? Who's better at this? Like they're gonna definitely be competitive.
Yeah. 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 I think yeah, our kids they have a 5-year gap. So I think, or actually 6 years. They were 6 when Olivia was born. Yeah. So hopefully they don't have too much of a problem with that. What was I saying? This is such a tired dad podcast right now. What was I saying? Oh my god. Oh yeah, my kids are 6, and it's so funny. Because I have like vague memories of like pissing off my dad and like when I was like a kid, like 4, 5, 6,
Hmm.
7 years old or something. And I always thought that was really funny because I remember growing up being like, I'm gonna be a cool dad. Like I'm not gonna get angry at all this stuff. But it's like when you have kids and like that time is sort of taken away from you, well, not taken away. It's wonderful having kids. I love having kids. It's amazing. I suggest everyone does it, but it's something that is a trade-off. You lose a lot of that time that you probably grew accustomed to having as
Yep.
you were getting like, in your adulthood. All of a sudden that's gone. And then you have a lot more obligations on top of you. And then you have this little fucking brat.
Yep.
No, I mean, my kids are great, but it's just so funny. Like I see it now. I can understand like how an adult can get upset at a 4-year-old. Like I get that now. It's not even like it's totally understandable. I remember growing up being like, I'm never gonna get upset with my kids, but it's like it makes so much sense when you take together the context of your whole entire life, and it's like you only have so much patience in your life, and like it's hard to like sort of take a step back and be like, it's fine. But in
Yeah.
the moment, you're like, no, don't say that. I told
Yeah.
you not to.
Yeah.
I
Which is
totally
what
get
they
that.
want. They want you to do that,
Yes,
which is
I
the
know.
problem. Yeah.
And then
I
they go,
always remember my parents.
oh,
Yeah. My parents would always say to me, I don't remember how old I was, but like I would say something that I didn't even think, like I wasn't super like trying to piss them off, but I would just like respond to something they said and they'd be like, "Don't talk back to me."
yeah.
And I'd be like, "I don't even really know what you mean by that, but okay. Now I get it." Like if I tell you to do a thing and you say any words, I'm like, "I didn't say to say any fucking words. Like go
Yeah.
do what I told you to do."
Yeah, the whole "because I said so" like makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. It's like I don't because some of the times it's like, why do you want me to do that? It's like I think part of it is I don't even know. It's just what you do. Like, of course, like
Yeah.
just take a shower. Like, why? Because you're dirty. I don't know. Just do it. I said so.
Yeah.
Why is it bedtime at 7:30? I don't know. Just go to bed. I get it. I totally get that.
Yeah. Oh
I
man.
feel like I'm giving off the wrong energy here. I love my kids,
Yeah, no.
but I'm just
Yeah, same.
commiserating because I totally get where you're coming from with that.
I
100%.
think yeah, I think every parent has had those moments
Yeah,
and
you got to
understands
be
all that.
honest with yourself. That's
Yeah.
you get a certain way. It makes sense. Yeah, it's totally understandable.
Yeah. So I do want to pivot a little bit, talk
Mhm.
about some Big Sky DevCon stuff.
Hell yeah.
Did you go before or is this your first time?
It's my first time. And so I'm excited because I want to get out there more. I want to do like more of the conference stuff. You know, I would have wanted to go to React Miami if we weren't having Olivia right around that time. You didn't go
Yeah.
to React Miami, did you?
Nope, I wasn't
Right.
allowed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which is like, yeah, and it was totally, you know, of course I'm not gonna go to Miami like a week before our baby was due. So didn't do that. But you know, I want to get out there. I want to do more conferences. Uh I did a we did a workshop at Rails World in Toronto
hmm
last year, which was so much fun. And so I just want to do more conferences. So I'm excited to do Big Sky. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't go before. I didn't even know it existed before. Like Chuck was like, I'm going to this conference, and he didn't even tell me like, hey, do you want to go? He was just like it was coming up and he was like, oh yeah, by the way, like next week I'm gonna be at this conference. I was like, why didn't you ask me to go? Cool. Um
You guys were still
but
doing the podcast at the time?
yeah, yeah. Um yeah, so he was like I mean it's kind of the whole joke that it's like HTMX conf is basically like
Yeah.
what it's for.
Mhm.
But so he went to that and like, Prime's gonna host and Aaron Francis and like whatever. And I think Prime maybe hosted before too. I don't know. He was at least there.
Mhm.
Um so like, a lot of people we know and whatever. And I was like, yeah, you should have definitely invited me. But anyway, now on the website, you and I are the top two people on the speakers
We
list,
are.
which is a
Oh, no
privilege,
way.
but
Hell
I
yeah.
don't understand why because I am not very popular. But
You're popular in my heart, okay?
oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, popular in my
Yeah.
heart.
So, what
But
is your talk going to be about?
so it's actually pretty cool. This is a thing we've been working on with Typecraft. We started doing what we're calling Vim challenges. We're gonna come up with a better name, I think, as we kind of think through like a little bit more of
Vim
it. But
Gym.
huh? Vim Gym.
Vim Gym.
I was thinking like Vim Dojo, you know, like some they're silly, but it's some super interesting we've been doing, which is Vim challenges. Just because I feel like if you want to learn Vim, you want like more repetition, you want to do like more
hmm
of it, like not Vim, but like anything. You know, if you're trying to be in good shape, you gotta lift weights, you gotta go to the gym all the time, do
Yeah,
reps, all that stuff. So
I want it gamified.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Similar thing to Vim, right? Or anything that you want to learn. So what the talks about is sort of how we came up with like Vim challenges and how we sort of made it because it's not just. I think it's kind of interesting the solution we had, right? So we're both Ruby developer. Oh, our so my business partner is Robert Bean, by the way. Do you know who that is?
It sounds familiar. I
Yes.
should. I'm sure
Robert's
I've
my
seen him
business
around.
partner. I call him the other half of Typecraft, and I think you've at least crossed paths with him before. You know EchoBind and like Chris Ball, Michael Yarrett.
Yes, yeah, do yeah.
Yeah. So Robert started EchoBind with them. There was like
Okay,
there's three,
maybe that's where
and
I know him from.
yeah. So yeah, you probably know him from there. And yeah, we've always kept in touch. My first Rails job at Teladoc, Robert hired me, and we just kind of kept in touch since then. So we've known each other for like 15 years or so. And then yeah, I started making videos on YouTube, started to take off just a little bit, and Robert was super excited about it. So yeah, he joined up with me. We've been doing Typecraft kind of together for a while now. But yeah, we have typecraft.dev is sort of like this like learning platform we're kind of working on, and we made what's called Vim. We're calling Vim challenges, which I think are super interesting. It's a Ruby on Rails app, and what we do with Vim challenges is like we actually have a challenge. It's kind of like Vim Golf if you've seen that before, where we give you like a prompt and we give you the text in like a Vim sort of instance, and we give you the expected text that we want you to give us to actually complete the challenge. And what we do is there's two things. Number one, we actually give you a real Vim instance in the browser. It's not like emulated at all. It's an actual Vim instance running on a server, running a pseudo terminal. So whenever you
Okay,
open the browser window, it actually starts up a pseudo terminal for you, opens up Vim in like a secure mode, and has the like the text, the starting text, right? And that is run on Go through WebSockets, and the WebSockets sort of stream information back to the Rails app and the Rails app uses Xterm to display that information, which is, I think, a really fun like technical solution and a fun like technical problem that we solved.
Yeah.
And Xterm is a really cool thing because like it's the technology that's in like VS Code, right? Like that's the terminal. When you open the terminal, it's Xterm. So Xterm JS on like a web browser is the same as basically Xterm in VS Code, which I thought was kind of cool. But then on top of that, to actually score Vim challenges, we make sure that the expected text and the prompt text kind of match each other, right? Because that's the first way. If you did it right, then you did it right, right? If those don't
Hmm.
match and it was incorrect, you get 0. But then on top of that, because it's Vim, you only know so much about Vim, right? Like I couldn't know the most optimal way to do anything in Vim. I have my own sort of habits with it, but who am I to say this is the most optimal way to do it, right? There's like all kinds of ways you can do anything in Vim. So what we actually do is we send your keystrokes, the output text, the amount of time it took you to do the challenge, to AI, like to an open AI sort of thing,
Hmm.
and then we actually have AI analyze it and spit back out like a score for you based on those like criteria. So
Nice.
after all of that, you get a score back, and yeah, that's basically how it works. And that's so the talk's gonna be kind of about that, and um, I guess yeah, I think what we're gonna do is actually make like a challenge for the conference. So whoever has their
Ooh.
laptop out at the time, we'll just put out like a URL. Everyone can go there, and then like we'll like score it in real time. So it'll be a cool little demonstration. I think it'll be a fun talk.
Yeah, that sounds cool. The only
Yeah.
thing I know how to do is quit Vim just because I didn't want to get stuck in there. So
And even that, there's like so many ways to even quit Vim, right? Like so it's like, it's I think it's cool. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
yeah, yeah, sounds fun.
What's your talk gonna be on?
So mine is a variation of I gave a talk at WebDevCon, which is a Amazon internal conference,
Hmm.
um, about like all the new stuff. Well, I mean, new is relative, but like, hey, have you been a developer for 10 years and you haven't looked at all the new like input types in HTML?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you're building your own color picker, you don't have to input type color, like, stuff like that. So I'm gonna build a very like sarcastic talk, like take that like serious subject and make
Mhm.
it not serious about like the title is like HTML is stealing our jobs. And so I'm gonna like talk about all the things we used to like spend tons of time, like, putting tons of divs and tons of JavaScript into like hand roll that you don't have to do anymore, and just have like a fun sarcastic spin on like each one of those things.
That sounds really funny. Yeah, I could totally see how that's yeah. And I've got to say, I'm not really much of a front end guy, so I didn't know that there was a native color picker HTML
Well,
element.
that's what spawned the idea for like doing this at WebDevCon is I didn't
Mhm.
know either. I was working at Art 19. We had a like, I don't know, super complicated color picker.js from like npm,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
like we were using that, and I was like, all right, there's a few bugs in this. This isn't working how I want. Can I just build one? And I was like Googling it, and it was like input type color, bro. And I was like, oh shit, like we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, so
Damn.
like then I like went down that rabbit hole of like looking at different things that exist too. And I was like, oh, there's a lot you can do. Like you don't have to build accordions anymore because you got like summary and details, and like you don't have to build much of anything anymore, honestly.
Ooh, that's
But
fun. I love
yeah,
that. Hell yeah.
yeah,
That'll
yeah.
be a
So we'll
fun
see.
talk.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to start writing it yet,
Mhm.
unfortunately, but I'm always a just in time talk writer, so it'll be
Yeah, you
fine.
work better under pressure for sure. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, without a deadline, like who would ever get anything done?
Yeah, and you have 3 damn kids now. Like, what else are you gonna do? You can't write.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of kids.
Yeah, I am gonna experiment with like I kind of know what I want each slide to like say and the vibe for like
Mhm.
each thing. So I want to try to like use I haven't even looked if it like how it works, but there's a thing called Gamma that's like AI slides.
Interesting.
So I want to like try something like that, be like, hey, I want like, this many slides, this kind of content,
Mhm.
build me something. And at least it'll be a starting point to like not have to build it all by hand.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll report back if it works well or not.
Yeah. Have you started using AI more and more for like programming related tasks? Or are you still rolling everything by hand or what? I guess you've been
uh
on leave, you kind of been out of the loop a little bit.
yeah, I have been using it more. It's a little bit tricky with like working at different companies. Like Amazon's like you have to use our stuff,
Mhm.
like Amazon Q and like I don't know, Bedrock, I guess, or I don't even know. Everything has a weird code name.
Yeah.
And then like IBM has like Watson X or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, Watson, yeah.
Yeah, so like you're supposed to I'm gonna have to learn how to do all of that. But I have like I was using Cursor because everyone said like
Mhm.
Cursor's the best, whatever. Not at work because I'm not allowed to use it at work. But I was just using it on side stuff and I was like, this is actually pretty awful. I don't like Cursor at all. I don't know why everyone thinks it's so good. And like I tried Windsurf, I started using that like a week ago, and it
Mhm.
is so much better. It
Really?
is like, yeah, so it's they both actually do really terribly, not really terribly. Windsurf's a little better at like, hey, I have like a Next.js app, make it Astro. It's not
Oh,
gonna
wow.
happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Um, but Windsurf is actually really good at like their like tab to go through stuff
Mhm.
interface feels more intuitive to me and like gets the suggestions right more
Mhm.
than Cursor does. So I don't know why they're all like similar, you know, models. You can switch between all the models, use
Mhm.
whatever you want, but like Windsurf so far seems to be better.
That's really interesting. So you're going the approach of like the IDE or like the editor that has a thing sort of integrated to it, right? Like Windsurf is an editor, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I tried that too. I've tried Cursor. I've not tried Windsurf. Oh yeah, Cursor 1.0 is out today, by the way.
Hmm.
Was that
Not gonna
today?
use it.
I think it was
I
recently
don't
though.
know. I saw. Yeah.
It's like this, I mean, this week, it came out at least. But yeah, for me, it's like, I don't know, I don't really care. Uh, Cursor, and I agree. So I also did, I tried Cursor and I also tried, in NeoVim, there's a really great plugin called Avante. It's
Okay.
Avante. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not. Avante is how I think of it, about it.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, but that's really good, and it does a good job of like emulating what a lot of these editors kind of have built in. Like it has that little side panel that comes out, and you can like go up and down and like select the code that you want to put in wherever it is, or whatever. I've had a lot better luck lately, and I think I've come up with a pretty decent workflow. And really, I only use this like on side stuff as well. So maybe it's not. Who knows if it's like really great in a very complicated code base? But have you heard of like Claude Code?
Hmm.
So that one's really interesting to me because it's still in the terminal. I use it in the terminal, and you can give it context. Like, say I want to do a thing in this code base, but instead of having it actually just do the work, you can say, I want to do this thing, write an RFC for how you would do this, or like write like a to-do list, right? And so like it can keep track of its own context a little bit better, and it's a little bit more. And I think all of the editors and IDEs have this too, but it's more like I don't know what even the right word is agentic, like where it actually like kind of keeps looping through and kind of
Hmm.
looking at things, like do research, look, like do more research, like loop through some stuff. It doesn't just do one thing and then stop like the way I think Cursor or like Avante, I mean, depending on what you're using works. But I've had a lot more luck with like Claude Code. I think that's I don't know. I think it's really interesting. But then again, of course, so many times it like hallucinates or like just I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, can you make this like a brighter color? And it's like, sure, I did that, and then also I updated the database to use all these different things, and like I changed your whole entire framework, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want this one little thing, please.
Yeah. That's the problem with like it's a give and a take, but like yeah, the agentic style, because Windsurf has like a their own thing where it's like you
Mhm.
can still use like you know, Claude or I don't know, all the different shit, but you
Yeah.
they also have like a SWE, which is like I guess software engineer or whatever, and
Hmm.
it's just like
Hmm.
it's more agentic. It's like, oh cool, let me look at the files, let me see this, let me like, but it thinks really badly. Like I
Hmm.
don't act, it gets like out of control. It's like fix these TypeScript errors. It's like, cool. All right. Well, instead of like looking and seeing that the library that has the types, you could just import it from that and like
Yeah.
use that. Instead, I'm going to build all the types from scratch, throw it all in that file, like delete all these ones you're importing. So why would we have those? And then
Yeah.
like it just, and then it like has a syntax error somewhere and then like spirals and starts doing that in like every file. And like, thank God there's a like reject all changes button at the end. But
Mhm.
like, it is more like trying to think. It's just not good at thinking.
Yeah, I know, and that's I mean, it's funny, it's hard to think, but, like, we're still so early on with, like, all of this AI stuff, and at first you can be, like, sort of push it off, be like, "Okay, it's kinda dumb." It's like, it does some stuff okay, but it's not that big of a deal, but, like, the rate at which things get better, I mean, even if the models don't get any better, it's still, like, the tooling that people are creating around the models themselves, I think, are only gonna get better, and, like, even the whole concept of, like, an agentic, style, AI kinda agent that would kinda loop through and continually, like, look at things and see if it works, and then if it didn't work, try a different approach. That's gotten so much better already, like, you know, it's just a funny, like, thing. I've been really struggling with it myself, like, kinda thinking, like, what does the future look like for
Yeah.
developers, right? Like, and I've only scratched the surface of all this stuff. I haven't even, like, looked that deeply into it. This is just my own personal, like, uses of this stuff. And I can't help but think, like, this is it's kinda crazy, you know? It's a little
Yeah.
bit nuts, and eh, even if you take it at, I think, the most sort of innocent, sort of face value kinda thing, like, AI, what it's doing is, I think, kind of obfuscating learning how to code for real,
Hmm.
because you just need like a little bit of knowledge about something, and AI can kind of solve that for you. And as long as tests pass, or as long as like it looks good on the browser, like, then you're kind of good to go. And so, like, for me, when I started learning how to program, I mean, I learned in college a little bit, but I really only learned through Ruby on Rails. And like, I think that kind of stunted my growth as a programmer, because I only learned through the framework, right? I didn't learn Ruby. I learned Ruby on Rails, you know?
Right.
I think a lot of people probably the same with like a lot of JavaScript frameworks and things like that. Like,
Hmm.
people learn the React library. They don't really learn JavaScript or ES6, right? So I'm worried that like people are going to learn how to code through AI, but not really how to code. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that'll happen. And I think
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
no, but
Oh,
I think
goodness.
like this whole get rid of all software engineers, vibe code everything movement is like far exaggerated. I think
Yeah.
the thing that, at least in my experience, like the thing that's worked well is I want to change this one line.
Hmm.
You already know what I want to type before I type it. I hit tab. Like that works pretty well.
Hmm.
The whole like just do a bunch of shit at once has not worked well for me across any platform.
Hmm.
I've tried different models, OpenAI, Anthropic,
Hmm.
all the different stuff. If you tell it to do like a bunch of things, it just won't. And then like there was, I don't know if I told you this the last time we chatted. I forget which podcast I've said what on, but like
Hmm.
I was using Cursor at one point and I was telling it like do this thing. And it's like cool, edited the file, dope. It's good. And I was
You're
like,
absolutely right. This is completely
yeah.
incorrect.
And then I was like, um, I'm looking at the Git history. You didn't make any changes. And it's like, oh, you're right. Cool. Let me make the changes now. You're right. You're right. And then I was like, you still didn't make the changes. It's like, are you just telling me you're making the changes? And then it legit says something to the effect of like, yeah, dog, I just keep telling you I'm making the changes, but I'm not going to make the changes. I'm just going to keep telling you I am, but I won't do it. And I
You
was
know
like,
what's so
what
funny, to bring
the
this thing back full circle here? The way your son is just repeating things back to you that you're saying to him, it's
yeah.
very similar to, like, there's so many times where I'm like, this is incorrect, that there's a bug in this code. You're absolutely right. There is a bug in this code right where you said it was. Let me go fix it now. It's like, "Ugh, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
Just shut
Yeah.
up.
So
Take a
I
damn
think
bath.
I think it's going
Go
to
to
be a
bed.
long time before like vibe coding is actually real. I think it's a fun experiment to be like, can I one shot an app with like the right prompt? But like,
Yeah.
if you're a big, tech company,
Hmm.
just because it works, like that's not enough. You need to have engineers who know that it all works, how it works, how to fix it if it breaks, like good test coverage that isn't all auto generated. Like I think, there's a long time before you just don't need engineers anymore. But at the same time, I do also worry about like, well, what if I'm not one of the good engineers that will be kept around, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's yeah, it's an interesting thing. The way I think about it too is like, so let's say you extrapolate this out. to the future, right? So right now you can kind of vibe. I hate the term vibe coding. You can vibe code an app, but if it is a successful application, like let's say you have a good idea, right? So there is a real good use case for AI, and I actually saw this at a meetup recently. I went to the New York Ruby AI meetup thing, right? And there was this one guy who was like, "Yeah, I'm not even a Ruby developer. I'm not even a developer. I thought Ruby looked like a good language to use, and so I used AI with Ruby to develop this application, and now it's actually like very polished, and I like it." So I'm looking for like a technical co-founder now. Like that's sort of what this person was. And so I thought like that's a really interesting thing where AI now kind of lowers that barrier of someone who thinks they have a decent idea and actually just wants to execute on like even like the pre MVP version of that idea, right? Like I just want to see something that kind of works, like kind of
Hmm.
like Figma mockups where you can just click on things and it'll go to like the right page, but like
Hmm.
obviously like an actual working app. And I think that's a really interesting thing. But then at the end of the day, um, if you have like a whole generation of programmers who went through college, sorry, that sip of sunshine's coming back up. No, but if you have like a whole generation of programmers who only really learned with AI, like, and they rely very heavily on AI, is that like that's not a good cohort of people who you would trust in like a big enterprise environment to know how to
For
fix
sure.
a thing, right? Like this wasn't built with AI. Like Steve over here is the guy who built it and he hard coded half the shit. And like you're gonna have to figure out how to do that. And if you relied heavily on AI and you just don't know like proper like, like not even just algorithms, but like just general like data, like object oriented programming, or like what's functional programming, like what's the difference between JavaScript and Ruby, or dynamic and statically typed languages and all that stuff. Like if you don't have that core understanding, I don't know. I don't think that's. I'm not sure if we'll ever get there, but like I feel like that's what all these like CEOs of all the AI companies want is like you don't even have to know how to code anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's just you can
Yeah.
just build
I
things.
don't think it's gonna get there personally. Like,
I don't either, but like I feel like the world's going to be kind of in this halfway spot in not too much time. Already,
yeah.
every everyone I know, I almost said every kid I know, all the kids I know these days. No, my wife has a brother who's 16 years younger than her, so he's like just turning like 21. So he's in college now, and he's like, "Yeah, I use AI for all of my everyone uses AI for everything."
Of course.
Like
Why
nobody.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then like like you lose the concept of like hard work and like the enjoyment of like truly understanding something, and
Well,
also you don't truly understand anything. So
I mean, it's not the same, but like I'm sure the people who like plowed fields with a mule said the same thing. Like, you don't get the hard work with that tractor. Like, like
yeah.
I think it's just a tool. And I think the person using the tractor still needs to understand if the tractor is doing it right. You can program a tractor now, just be like GPS, do
Mhm,
shit.
mhm.
But like you need to know, oh, I just like mowed through a family of deer, or like, like there's always things like that you
Mowed through
don't
a
want.
family of deer.
Like like you don't want that. So
Yeah.
like, I think the same with coding. Like I've had a lot of success getting a few things here and there, and I think AI makes me faster, but
Mhm.
it will not, like, if it's like, oh, this thing's broken and I didn't have the knowledge of like, oh, I know some JavaScript, I can fix it. Then I would just be stuck. I'd be like, please fix it, please fix it. And he'd be like, I can't. Like, I think it's gonna be. I don't think you'll ever have completely non-technical people coding like big tech like Fang phenomena stuff.
I don't mean non-technical. I just mean people who like learned programming through AI, right? Like I
Just have
learned
more of a
programming. Yeah,
crutch.
I learned
Yeah,
programming through a framework, Ruby on Rails,
right.
right? Like a lot of people probably learn through programming through Next.js more recently, or like React or whatever. I mean, like, what about the people who learn programming through AI, right? At least with like Ruby on Rails, like you still have to understand what Ruby is, and like you'll run into issues. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the same thing with AI. Maybe you'll run into issues, you'll solve them, and you'll learn it. And I guess you just have enough
Yeah.
working knowledge to like understand like those systems. But I don't know. I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's
I think it's different. I think there's people that are really good at prompting and then
mhm.
really good at debugging the slop it gives you, and it has like
Yeah,
nothing to do with being actually good at coding.
yeah,
It's a different skill. It's like interviewing. It's
yeah.
completely
Debugging.
different than actually coding.
That's very true. Yeah, very true. I guess time will tell. We'll see. In my mind, I always think there's going to be this like language that gets created that's like perfectly suited like just for AI. You know, like it's like perfectly like efficient. Like what's a better use case? What's a better word for that? Efficient, tuned for AI, right? And like it's a language that no one's gonna understand, but it's like it's best with AI. So like people can build things perfectly with this like imaginary language I'm thinking of because AI knows all of its little permutations and what to do with it.
Hmm.
And so I wonder if I don't know. I kind of I think about this like for a while and like thinking about it, I always worry about this world where like not that software goes away, but like the kind of software that we know goes away, right? Like nobody writes assembly code,
Right.
do they? Right? No.
No.
Like and then like people when compilers first came out, it's like, oh, compiler, huh? You got to check your errors or whatever. And it's like you can't manage your own memory, you know. And like and now it's gonna be like I think with AI it's gonna be like I feel like there will be a specific kind of tooling or programming language or something where it's perfectly tuned for AI for a certain model. And that model knows that so well that you can just prompt anything. It'll be like, I know exactly how to do it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
But
I think that could happen.
and then yeah,
But
and
I
then
think,
when you get there, then it's like, who are the technicians then? You know,
yeah,
who comes up with because AI cannot do novel ideas. It
right.
just can't. It just regurgitates what it knows. But who's gonna like come up with novel ideas when in the world where like AI kind of is like it's its own ecosystem, you know?
Yeah. I think you're going to see a wave of like cybersecurity is going to be even more important because I think
Yeah,
you're going to be like,
yeah.
oh, I'm a bank. Okay, I vibe coded the next bank software, and someone's like, oh, I can just use like the standard like
Mhm,
root password, get in, take everyone's money, or like,
mhm.
something. And then they'll be like, oopsies, we didn't understand technology. So like everyone's money is gone.
Yeah,
Um, I think there's gonna be a lot of that, which is gonna then like slingshot us back to like, hello, we're engineers. We understand things.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like, um, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll just keep getting better and better. And like, I do think we'll be doing less like looking at screens and more like, OpenAI has their like physical device coming out or whatever that like, I think there's going to be a lot of like, I just, talk to my robot and tell it to like go make me a sandwich or whatever. And
yeah.
I don't need
I
to look at a screen. I don't
pontificate.
need to order DoorDash. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so we'll see with that. But like, I don't know. I think it'll be very sci-fi, like maybe in our lifetimes. We'll see.
Very Black Mirror-esque,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. Black
very
Mirror is
interesting.
some dark shit.
I know, I love it. Did you watch this season?
I did, yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I gotta say
Yeah,
that
the
last episode though, the one of, that guy who, like, kinda cosplays as, like, the Star Trek guy,
Mhm.
I didn't, we didn't watch that one. That's just, like, the least interesting episode.
Hmm. Did
My
you
favorite
watch the
episode
previous season one about that?
I did, yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
It's like they
if you
kind of
hadn't seen that,
escaped.
it wasn't as interesting, I guess,
Yeah,
but
they kinda, like, escaped, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but and then, like, that was a continuation of that episode. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't get into that one so much. The one I liked the most, though, was I completely forget the name of it, but the one where there was a subscription, you had to keep upgrading or else you had to sleep more, and then
Oh, yeah.
what's she would say ads, like, in her sleep.
Yeah, that was creepy. That was
Yeah.
like I could see that happening,
It was the
like
most realistic. I mean, not really, like in real life, that would never actually happen. Like, I think some government would step in and be like, you can't do that." But that was the most like accurate portrayal of corporate greed and
oh,
like
yeah.
that weird kind of insanity that happens when like there's like a company that controls so much and can just sort of say like, no, we made another plan and it's even better now because you can get more sleep, but we really use your brain for like server power. It's just wild.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It made so much sense to me. I was like, oh my God, it's a freaking crazy world.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are over time.
Mm.
Before we end, anything you want to plug?
Typecraft.dev.
All right.
Yeah, working on a nice, working on a learn platform. We have Vim challenges right now. We have something really big coming through. It's coming up very soon, actually. A landing page is about to drop for something big that we're doing. Also, Typecraft Dev on Twitter, on YouTube. Almost at 200,000 subscribers. Really pumped about that. Pretty wild. But yeah,
Nice.
that's it. It's all the stuff.
Cool. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.